Hello everybody, this is Darkside's Heartless here. I'm here to start my first series of Let's Rants. Might not be a series, it might just be one video, but you never know how things will turn out on the first try. But alright, let's get this started. My first Let's Rant will be about the news. You've all heard about it. You've heard it a billion times. You've heard about that kid who got his arm ripped off by a shark. You've heard about Michael Jackson dying. You've heard about all that stuff that nobody cares about after the 5 billionth time. Well, I just don't get why people would just do that. I mean, okay, I know some things are important, like the swine flu, but some things that they were doing a couple months ago was just so unneeded. They didn't need to talk about the outbreak, the same thing every day. You all know what I'm talking about too. So I do not get it. It's Michael Jackson's death, for example, I've been hearing about it for weeks, and I'm sick of it. I cannot stand it anymore. It's just really irritating to listen to something blah 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 happened 3 weeks ago. It's just not interesting. If this thing happened weeks ago, you're bound to have heard it a few times. Sure, if they're updating it, yeah, like for example, what's his name? Peter Jackson? Well, I can't think of his name right now, but you've all heard, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of the Lisa Stevick thing. Her husband, he killed, I know he's in jail right now, but, he killed his third wife, and yet they can't put 2 and 2 together that he probably killed Lisa Stevick too. And yes, I know you're thinking, the Blue Barrels? Nobody cares about that after hearing about that. I know this has been a year ago, so nothing really important's happened lately, except he got arrested, so. But you don't need to hear about that a week later. Let's see, what else? Oh yes, death of Michael Jackson. Okay, Michael Jackson died. For some people, it's good to hear it a couple of days later, just in case you're on vacation or something, but if you're on vacation, you're bound to hear people talking about it on the radio, whatever. You may have even read it in the newspaper, for all I know, but we don't need to hear about it months later. Okay, not months, but still. Now they're speculating that he killed himself, or wait, that was a month ago. Now they're saying his doctor did it. Ugh, excuse me. But it just sickens me to hear stuff like that months after it happened. I know it hasn't been too long since that happened, but still. Oh yeah, also, I'm pretty sure, I'm not too sure if you heard about the death of Farrah Fawcett or Billy Mays, because the only thing that's been on the news that people cared about was Michael Jackson's death. I'm pretty sure a couple of you out there haven't even heard that Billy Mays has died, and you've been wondering why his commercials haven't been on lately. Well, news break. Billy Mays is dead. So is Farrah Fawcett. But you probably would have never known about that unless you were on a different channel, or for whatever reason. Well, not for whatever reason, but if you search on YouTube and saw a tribute to Billy Mays or Farrah Fawcett and stuff like that, but on the news, you would never know about it. If the only show you watched, well, not really show, but if the only thing you watched was the news, you really wouldn't know about people dying. But the thing was, I guess I also am going to contradict myself with this, but then again, if Michael Jackson hadn't died and Billy Mays and Farrah Fawcett still did die, they would have been on the news for weeks, just like Michael Jackson's death. Nobody would have cared about it a week later. Another thing, I know I'm not too sure about some places, but one of my news channels, after the normal newscast, they also talk about something that happened in my neighborhood. Not really neighborhood, but in the city that I live in. But some of these things are really useless. Let's see, what was it? One of them actually showed a group of kids at a carnival. Sure, they looked like they were having a great time, but what's the point of having it in the news? This wasn't like a special group of kids or anything. This is just a plain old school. This like plain old kids from preschool. I guess it was preschool. They didn't really explain it much, but some random kids from preschool, and they were at the carnival. Whoop-de-doo. Like I said, though, that's just might not be on all the news channels, but another thing, some things that they really don't cover enough are the war that's going on. I mean, sure, you probably heard about the numbers of soldiers that died, but that's really the only update we've had for a while. Then again, I've been on vacation for a couple of weeks, and I'm not too sure about everything, so please don't take my word for that exactly. But also, I want to make... I just don't get this, too, because the swine flu, like I mentioned before, the swine flu, they've had, like a couple months ago, they've had very little stuff to talk about it, and they just said, the swine flu outbreak is blah blah blah. For the past month after that, they got very little, to my knowledge, they've had very little updates on that. They've had so-and-so died, the victim number 1 was this boy from Mexico, and that's pretty much all that happened during that 1 month period. And okay, if about a week later, it would have been fine if you had it, but the entire month, if nothing major happened, why bother casting it? I know you all know what I'm talking about, too. Unless, of course, you don't watch the news, which is highly likely. But, I mean, just really, really annoys me about the news. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention a couple months ago, not a couple months, but, that one guy from Meet the Press died. That, in my opinion, I believe it was Meet the Press. I can't think of his name right now. He was on the Today Show, it was really early in the morning, but in the Today Show, you would have heard him quite a bit, like, an update once a week. He died. Sad, I know, but the thing was about that, they talked about it a few days later. Not really a few days later, but they did it whenever he first died, but they didn't use that long enough. They should have had that on a little longer, just in case people were wondering who watched the Today Show and weren't there for like a week and didn't catch it, and they wouldn't have any idea what happened. It's just stuff like that that bugs me, but I hope you enjoyed my first video, or episode, I guess, depending how long this is. I'm not too sure how long it is, but thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy my future, things about this, the Let's Rants. Sorry, I really can't speak tonight. But anyway, by the time I upload this, I hope you all have a good idea. I hope you all have a good day. See you guys later.